All right, it's the morning of September 24th, my third day in Flagstaff, and I am starting out by finishing up segment J, and then I'm going to do all of segment K today, which will take me through the end of the course. So yesterday we came across the overpass, turned on this Forrest road, and then we are pretty much immediately going to turn left onto the Arizona Trail. So you can see the paved road that I came in on, Route 66. And gonna get started. Even though I'm only a half a mile from my starting location, I absolutely had to pull out the GoPro to get some video of the sunrise light on the mountains ahead. Again, this is the Arizona Trail going through here, and it is just gorgeous. A bit of road noise from the highway behind me, but the scenery is fantastic. And it's nice and cool this morning. It started at 44 degrees. So getting an early start so I can climb up Elden before it gets too hot today. I'm about 2 miles into today's run, and I'm currently in Picture Canyon Natural and Cultural Preserve. Still following the Arizona Trail, and this is another really beautiful area that I have not seen before. So just wanted to get some video of that. I have a junction here, so I'll need to check my map. So staying on the Arizona Trail. And apparently, according to my map, the little bridge area there crossed the Rio de Flag. So I'm really enjoying getting to see all these different areas near Flagstaff. About 3 miles in now. Nice views of the mountains ahead of me between the trees. And then just to my left, on my maps, that's called Sheep Hill. And the Arizona Trail just skirts around at the base of that. Beautiful morning today. And just great views. It's one of the Picture Canyon Preserve signs. And continuing on the Arizona Trail here towards the mountains. Just about 3.7 miles in, crossing under a culvert that goes under Highway 89 and continuing on the Arizona Trail. So the first 3 miles of today's outing were absolutely perfect footing. Really good, fairly level, just great running, especially since I was nice and fresh in the morning. Then just past Sheep Hill, you start to get a couple of short rocky sections, and now coming out of the culvert there's some rock, but a lot of the trail is just really smooth. So just good to know there's some great sections in here to make some time for those of you that still have legs left at this point. My starting point today was right at the pin dropped for mile 236. So I have 18 miles to do today. So when I'm talking about my distances for today, you can add 236 to those and get course miles. About 4.3 miles in, and I was just going to get some video. There's some fall color up on the high shoulders of the mountain there. I'm about 5.7 miles in, and I've branched off the Arizona Trail. So I took a left branch where the AZ trail stayed right and went along a rocky knoll. And then I took what looked to be a more minor branch, not signed, but it's definitely the one that GPX track follows. And then a little while later, I did see a sign on this tread that said designated trail. Didn't say what trail it is, but it is a designated trail. And generally starting to climb now. So the first 4 miles today were not a whole lot of ascent, but now it's starting to become a little bit more of a steady climb. I have a total of 877 feet of ascent and 258 descent so far today, and just making my way upwards. Not to any steep climbing yet, but just a gradual uphill. Climbing in earnest now, and just about coming up on 6.4 miles in, and really pretty views of the trees below me, and very promising views up above of more fall color. This is the start of a set of switchbacks that climb up the mountain. Well, there won't be fall color in May, but I highly recommend doing this as a training outing in late September, because it's beautiful. And actually any time of the year, I'm sure it has nice views out over the surrounding terrain, but with the fall color today, it's spectacular. 7.5 miles in, and just getting to my first aspens. Not very big, and most of these are still green. They're starting to turn, but it's still pretty, and it's kind of a fun little landmark on the way up. So wanted to get a little bit of video of this section. So I had not seen any trail junctions, and I wasn't really looking at the GPS track, but apparently I came up on a new trail. I saw a mountain biker, and she told me that this is a newly built trail, and I did not come up on the original trail, which she said is not as nice. I'm looking at the switchbacks for it right now. They look perfectly fine. I don't know what it's like lower, and I don't know if they've tried to decommission it lower down, but again, I never saw a branch where I went wrong, although the new trail certainly traverses much further to the right hand side as you're looking at the mountain. So, but I believe I am now back on the course route. May have to come back some other time to check out the section I missed, and looking forward to getting over to all that fall color there. I'm coming along the ridge now, and just wanted to get a little video of the fall color there. Just gorgeous. Finally up into all those beautiful aspen that I've been looking at above me for most of the climb. And the ones up here definitely a nice shade of gold. Makes me smile. I'm gonna wander along this trail till I get to the lookout. Well, I will say the views today are worth the price of admission. While it's a bit hazy for the distance views, the aspens are wonderful. And coming at them from this angle, they're slightly backlit by the sun. Glorious day to be out on the trails. All right, I think this is the trail that I'm going to descend on. It's pretty close to where I look like I break off from this tower area. I've just come from that direction right there, wrapping around all the towers and the buildings, and I'm going to head down this way. It's kind of cool. Literally, it's actually cooler, and it's got neat rocks and aspens. I'm probably gonna put the camera away though, so I can not trip on any of the rocks. But this looks neat. So I stopped for a second to get some video of this trail. There's a series of switchbacks above me. So the first couple of tenths, you do drop 200 feet over 2/10, but I was worried it might be steeply pitched downward. It's not. It's stair-stepped, and I'm not having any problems with slipping. I would recommend, I'm using trekking poles right now, even though I'm not particularly tired, but certainly at the end of a lot of mileage, I think the trekking poles help keep the stress off of your knees. And there are a lot of fairly big steps, so especially for people that are not as tall, I think those are going to be very noticeable. But the trail's plenty wide. It's certainly, so far, there's nothing that's, you know, feels like it's too steeply pitched where you're just going to slide down or slide sideways. It's just really a lot of big rock that you have to step through and step down. There's another sort of section of that, so I'm going to put my camera away. But nice views. Actually, before I put the camera away, I should take a couple of steps and show the views out over Flagstaff. Really pretty. It's a little hazy today, but nice views from here. Some of the areas lower down on the trail have been a little bit steeper pitch, but they also have these nice stair steps, and more stair steps here. So again, I imagine this is going to be really hard on the quads and the knees at the end of, you know, almost 250 miles. I think, let's see, the lookout is mile 245. So this would not be an easy trail to come down at that point. But it's certainly not as bad as it could be given the steepness of the grade. They've done a lot to improve it. Continuing down off of Elden, and the trail has been somewhat flatter at times, and then continuing to have stair steps through large rocks or down more artificial steps. So I just wanted to get a little more footage of what it looks like through here. I can't say exact mileages now since I went up a different trail, but I am down through most of the switchbacks now, and definitely starting to flatten out a little bit in between various little stair step drops. That's pretty. I've left the bouldery but pretty single track, and the course now follows the pipeline for a while. Not as much to see here, but this is the representative snippet. We've got the mountain up to the right there. Still on the pipeline trail, but this section was a little prettier, cuts more into the forest, and some larger pine trees here, plus a view of the mountain. So thought I would take a little footage here. So I'm still mostly was following a pipeline, but I came up this tiny little switchback to discover that I'm back on the Arizona Trail, at least for a little bit. It's kind of been amusing finding the different places where the race route follows the Arizona Trail. So just climbing up a short hill here. I did indeed connect up back up with the pipeline, and now I'm coming into the Buffalo Park area, which is part of the City of Flagstaff urban trail system. And while it might be a pipeline trail, it's actually very pretty. A little warm, but that's okay. I don't know if the trail stays on the pipeline road there or follows the single track, but I'm going to follow the single track back to the pipeline road because that seems more interesting. So the Arizona Trail still follows a pipeline here, and I noticed really good view for one thing, but in particular there's a nice view back towards Elden, and so I was up at the top of that earlier today, and obviously this is perfectly fine footing. Having fun working my way through the urban trail system, which is really pretty neat. So I took one of my map was called, I think, Cedar Road, which is really just a dirt road towards McPherson Park. And now I'm taking this little trail through here, and pretty soon I'll be to the city streets. Very pretty. And coming up to the city streets, I am not going to bother doing a course preview of the road section since roads are not my thing. And I see my guy up ahead, and the Jeep is over there, so I actually thought he was in the Jeep, but apparently he's up ahead of me. So I'm going to wrap up, and that's it for this segment.